of Representatives and Senate. That's tomorrow, as we've mentioned. And in March, we'll see that the State Assembly and Governors polls get underway. Since the election of Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999, after a long history of coup d'etats and dictatorships, elections have, however, become contestants, the norms, and they've become the only way to secure Nigeria's top job. To talk to us about the elections itself and preparations ahead, we are with Dr. Emeka Ugwu, who is the Secretary General of the opposition PDP, the People's Democratic Party in South Africa. He's furthest to my right, Mr. Boa Babarinde of the ruling APC, All Progressive Congress in South Africa. A very good evening to you, gentlemen, and thank you very much for speaking to us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's first start with you, Mr. Babarinde. Are you satisfied with the preparations? Do you believe that INEC has everything in place?
Yes, INEC is up to the task. We've started this journey since 1999 when the PDP was in power, and they've been improving on the preparation. And INEC, presently, they are using the card reader, and believe me, it has improved the electoral system in Nigeria to a greater extent. And 2015, it was actually tested, which proved to be successful. And this year, we believe it's going to be better than 2015.
Is that your assertion, Dr. Ugwu? Do you believe that everything is in place and Nigeria is ready to deliver a credible vote?
Well, I disagree with him. The reason being that I'll start by saying that the card reader machine was an innovation of the People's Democratic Party when we were in government, because we wanted a transparent election. We wanted, an election where people should be free to contest and should be scientifically proven that somebody has won an election or didn't win an election. But the way it is today, there are a lot of questions about the Independent National Electoral Commission.
What questions do you have?
I can tell you now that at least four INEC offices in PDP strongholds have gotten burnt in just this past week. And a lot of card readers have been destroyed, and we're a little bit worried about that. In addition to that, we are seeing an INEC that we are not sure is completely independent. This is an INEC that the chairman and also the president has appointed a relative of the president and many relatives of the president into strategic positions in the Independent National Electoral Commission, including the Collation Center. So we are very worried about that, and we are not sure of the independence.
Mr. In any case, what is your response to that? And I also want you to deal with reports out of Kano State saying that 587,000 permanent voters' cards have still to be collected.
Thank you. It worries me when the opposition party makes such a statement. They were in power for over 16 years. And as I said, that they introduced the card reader. And it was the card reader that we used in 2015, which was fair and free election. But, this INEC they're complaining about, they've been conducting the election since 1999. And despite the rigging system of PDP, that even recently, the former ambassador to Nigeria claimed, and he said it, that Buhari, the present president, won the election in 2003, 2007, 2011, in Nigeria. But we know them because they rig. And that is the reason why they think we are going to, if somebody...
So you would deny allegations that INEC and your party has ensured that people who are foreigners, people from Niger and Cameroon, are alleged to have been registered on the voters' roll, and that there could be a manipulation of the accreditation system, that people can accredit themselves at one station, vote at the same, and go to another and do the process all over again.
They were in power for 16 years. And maybe that was what they were doing, but credibly, the present president doesn't believe in that. He believes in free and fair election, and it is by law that the president will be the one to appoint the INEC chairman. And he will take the name to the Senate for approval, and that's of result, which they did.
Dr. Ugwu, it would sound like fair comment to say you introduced the system, it was used in previous votes, why are you complaining about it now?
We're not complaining about the card reading machine. We are complaining that the ruling party now has set out every machinery to rig the election before, during the election, and after the election. I'm going to explain. If you give me some time, I'm going to explain. As I said, rigging before the election. You know, quite a number of people who are working in the INEC, as I said, are relatives of the president, are relatives of the top echelon of the party. And recently, one of the stalwarts of the party even threatened international observers, saying that they may go back in body bags if they come to Nigeria and to observe the election. And that worries us. That's pre, and a lot of PDP strongholds. There were issues that people could not collect their cards, their voters' card. That's disenfranchising a whole lot of people in different areas of Nigeria. That's one, pre-election. I can go into a lot of things if there was time. During the election, as I said, now there are places where they've banned card reading machine. We're not complaining about card reading machine, but when you ban card reading machines, what that means is that people cannot thumbprint probably before they vote. So whichever election, I mean, if there are crises or issues after the election, how are you going to prove?
What about the ghost voters that you've alleged? What proof exists of that? I want us to go into that.
What proof?
The ghost voters. You've said that dead people are on the vote.
Yes.
You've said foreigners. Tell us a little bit more about that. What proof is there?
During this campaign, the president in one of the states, while he was there were two governors from Niger State, from Niger Republic, another country. You know, that has never happened in the history of Nigeria, where people, sitting government officials from one country joins the president in a campaign. You know, and these are places that are very close to his own area. What I mean, his own area, the president's area. You know, and
but why
we're very worried about that.
Why is that evidence of rigging? Because I want Mr. Babarinde to respond to that. Why is an official at an event proof that there's rigging and foreigners have been put onto the voters' roll? Well,
the last time even Nigerian newspaper carried it, that foreigners were coming in from Niger and Chad Republic to come into Nigeria to vote. And underage voters, we saw people who were less than 10 years old who were voting. It was all over the media, so it's not a hidden fact.
Mr. Babarinde, there are even claims today saying that people have been shipped in from Libya. Nigerians have been shipped in from...
Is that possible? Look at the distance between Libya and Nigeria.
But this is the question I'm asking. Libya, Liberia...
When a party is like acceptance of defeat, we have won, you know, because when you go to Nigeria, you see what the government has done. What they have done in the past 16 years, this government surpasses within 3 years. We have infrastructure, we have railways, we have many things, you know, that we have achieved. But the people that they are being governed, they know the government has performed, and they are jittery. Because for you to say they are rigging, we have different countries within very close to Nigeria. In the eastern part, where the PDP is strong, we have Bakassi, Cameroon, they used to be Nigeria. If you see them, you think they are Nigerians. You know, so this is just false allegation. It's just acceptance of defeat.
I need to ask a very pivotal question of both of you, both of your parties. Your candidates are both over 70. In a country where the youth population is more than half, 60% and above, why do you have candidates that are 70 and above? Could you not have fielded younger agents? I'll start with you, Dr. Ugwu.
Well, to me, age is just a number. To PDP, age is just a number. If you have a presidential aspirant who has got a sound mind and physically fit, then age becomes just a number. Are there none who are
younger?
Yes, there are some who are younger, but that does not confirm that they are going to be better. What we need is people with sound mind, physically sound, with capacity to build the country. That is what I can attest that we have in PDP. In APC, that's doubtful.
Doubtful of what?
That's for you to say.
Let me tell you.
Doubtful of what?
Yeah,
I have to ask the question so that you can respond.
Let me repeat myself. I say age is just a number. In PDP,
you said of sound mind and physical.
Yes, in PDP, we are sure that our presidential candidate and our vice presidential candidate are sound mentally and physically. That we can attest to.
Let's just deal with the elephant in the room. And what he is alluding to is the criticism against your candidate, that he has not been in good health. Can he assure Nigerians that he is up to the task physically? Seeing he was saying,
honestly, that's exactly what they were saying initially, that our president was old, is incapable and all this stuff. But unfortunately, when they bring their own man too, just 2 year difference. So what's the difference? You know, but you know, they are just trying to discourage the people, the voters, against our candidate. One thing I want you to know is that if you have watched Buhari recently, anybody can be sick. Even 21-year-old can be sick. He was sick, but it's better it's healthier now than before. When you compare him and Atiku, you think he's younger than Atiku presently. But coming to your point of saying we have younger people in Nigeria, why can't they come in and contest for the presidency? We are trying. We have history of military for so many years, and they've been in the forefront of governance for quite some time. You can see that the present government, the present president, happened to be a retired general. So we are going to. It's not going to be easy for the youth to come in now because of the kind of policy they play in Nigeria. Many youth are not so much interested.
So you say things have changed in Nigeria. Let me come to you, Mr. Ugwu. Those who say there's a reason to vote in the incumbent, President Buhari, back into power is because he has succeeded in taking away power that has been vested in the elite in Nigeria. That for once you've seen that people who had a lot of money and influence cannot influence the outcome now, including the appointments of governorship. Would you agree with that?
I totally disagree with that. And maybe I'll start by saying that since the history of Nigeria, this is the most incompetent, the most divisive, and the most nepotic government we've ever had. And that I can tell you. PDP was in governance for 16 years, which he has mentioned. And we left government in 2015. By the time we left government, Nigerians' GDP and the economy was growing at 6%. Today, we are the last in the world. We've been tagged now the capital of poverty in the world. As I speak to you now, things are very bad. While I was waiting for this interview, I got a message from Vanguard newspaper that 60 people died today in Kaduna State. I'm sure my brother here doesn't know that. So insecurity is increasing. So there's nothing. There's nothing. I can tell you, according to United Nations, International Monetary Fund, World Bank analysis, 6 Nigerians, a whopping number of 6 Nigerians go into abject poverty every minute. That is frightening.
Mr. Babarinde, I'd like you to respond to that, and especially the concerns around Kaduna. Kaduna has been a major problem area pre- and post-elections in terms of the violence there. Are you yourselves concerned that the insecurity will rise?
No one will not be concerned about the security, but we met worse security in Nigeria than now. Because when you look at Boko Haram, before this government came in, the whole of Borno, almost half of Borno, was taken over by the Boko Haram. But now, it's pocket of bombing there and there. This is terrorism. It's difficult to cope them 100%.
Allow me to interrupt you and ask you this question. The deployment of police forces and military, some members of the citizenry in Nigeria have seen that as acts of intimidation. They're asking, how can we feel free to vote for our candidate with such a surrounding of security forces? But
honestly, we made this problem on ground because they were there for 16 years. And the security deteriorated to the level we met it. But honestly, if you look at the indices now, the number of local government captured by Boko Haram is 0. But when we came in, it was more than 15 local government captured by Boko Haram. So how can you tell me that the security is deteriorating away?
I need to come back to this question of oil revenue and how it was vested in a cartel, so to speak. Some of the appreciation of Buhari's tenure has been he's taken the money away from that, but then they say he's brought it to his own elite cluster, what Mr. Dr. Ugwu was alluding to, nepotism. How does he respond to those charges? Has he created his own cartel?
When you look at the politics in Nigeria, you realize that the reason, and one of those reasons why the young people are not into politics is because of money. It used to be the business of the game of money, you know, in those days. But Buhari, when he came in, most of the people in the PDP now, they have already seized their the oil rig, you know, because normally what they do is that they share the oil rig among themselves. But when he came, immediately your oil rig expires, he keep it by the side. And what he wants to do, he wants to give it to the state so that the state can use this revenue for infrastructure development.
Unfortunately, you've run out of time. Dr. Ugwu, your final words in 30 seconds.
Yes. I would just want to say that this present government doesn't have the moral capacity and the moral justification to go after Boko Haram. If I had time, I would have expatiated on that. But I would want Nigerians to understand that this very election is very important, both to them who are home and to us in diaspora, because nothing has been happening in the country in terms of security, in terms of economy, in terms of education. Everything is worse now than when this government took over.
I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much to you both. That there is the People's Democratic Party in South Africa's that is Dr. Emeka Ugwu. He is the Secretary General of the party here in South Africa. And in South Africa, representing the APC, the ruling APC, is Mr. Boa Babarinde.